There was a single wooden chair, and someone was sitting in it, with their head hanging low. I managed to whisper, "Hello?" The head lifted up, and the face was all wrong. Just... You know, some places, they're not on any map. They just exist in whispers, right? In the kind of stories you tell to freak your friends out. Well, tonight, we're going to one of those places. A place the locals are so scared of, they won't even say its name. An estate that really has no business existing at all. This is the story of Grey Hollow Estate. That's what this old guy in the nearest town told me. Just whispered it, you know? He didn't say it was haunted or abandoned. He just said, that house isn't empty. Like it was a fact. Like the sky is blue. And man, was he right. Empty is the very last word I'd use for what was waiting for me in there. Even getting there just felt wrong. The road wasn't on my phone, wasn't on any map. It was just this ugly strip of broken asphalt that vanished into the woods. And as soon as I pulled up, I felt it. This overwhelming feeling that I wasn't just looking at some old house. No, it was looking right back at me. Everything about the place felt like a setup. The iron gate wasn't broken off its hinges, it was just open, like it was holding its breath waiting for me. The trees lining the driveway were like skeletons, their branches like bony fingers clawing at the sky. And the house, gosh, it was this 3-story monster of peeling paint and windows that were just black holes. It felt ancient but alive, and I couldn't shake the feeling that my arrival wasn't a surprise at all. It felt like I was expected.
So I get up onto the porch. My hands are shaking so bad. My flashlight beam is dancing all over the place. And that's when I see the weirdest thing of all. The huge front door. It was just a flat slab of wood. There was no handle, no doorknob, not even a keyhole. Just nothing. How in the world were you supposed to get in? Or maybe the real question was, how are you supposed to get out?
And then I saw it. Carved, and I mean carved deep into the wood, right in the center of that handleless door, were 3 words, a warning, crystal clear, do not knock. It wasn't a friendly suggestion, it felt like a desperate plea. So I didn't knock. My hand was already out, and I pushed. The door just swung open, didn't make a single sound, and opened into pure black darkness. The shift was immediate. It wasn't just that the temperature dropped. This was an active, heavy cold that felt like it was crawling right inside my bones. Yeah, this was not a normal kind of cold. It was that deep in your marrow chill you read about in horror stories. And the air was thick with the smell of damp, rotting wood. But there was something else under it. Something sharp and metallic. Kind of like old blood or rust. I stepped into this long hallway, lined with these identical closed doors. Every single one was shut tight, except for one. Way at the far end, it was cracked open just a tiny bit. I took one step forward, and a floorboard moaned under my foot. But it wasn't a normal creak, you know. It was this long, low sound, almost like a slow, sleeping breath. And that's when I heard it, a single footstep, directly behind me. I swear, I spun around, my light cutting through the dark. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I kept going, trying to tell myself it was just the house settling. You know, my mind playing tricks on me. I walked past these walls that were covered in old, faded family photos. I was just trying to get a sense of who lived here. And, let's be honest, probably died here. And that's when I saw it. At first glance, you'd miss it. But I started looking closer, going from one picture to the next, a family having a picnic, a Christmas morning, some little kid's birthday party, and there it was. In the background of every single photo, kind of hidden behind a tree or in a dark doorway, was the same tall, blurry shape, just standing there, always, watching. Then the whispers started, and they weren't in my head. I know they weren't. They were just in the air, faint and dry, like dead leaves rustling. Wrong door, one seemed to whisper. From another direction, not you. And then a little kid's voice, as clear as anything, right next to my ear. He's coming. Before I could even process that, the front door behind me slammed shut with this massive echoing boom. I was trapped. I just panicked. I ran down the hall, yanking on doors, but they were all locked solid. I finally pushed one open, and it led into this small, totally empty room. No windows, no furniture. The walls were just covered in these deep, frantic scratch marks like some animal had been trying to claw its way out. And right there, smack in the middle of the floor, was a trap door. There was this foul draft coming up from the cracks around the door, carrying that smell of rot, but way, way stronger now. The darkness below felt like a solid thing, and against every single instinct screaming at me to just leave it alone, I lifted the door and started down the creaking ladder into the cellar. The air down there was thick and wet. It felt like I was breathing water. At the bottom of the ladder was this narrow corridor, and the walls, the walls were covered in writing. Thousands of messages, just scratched into the stone, probably with fingernails. Things like, "It watches, it learns," and then the one that just turned my blood to ice. "It wears our faces." And then I heard it, this slow, wet, dragging noise. It was coming from the far end of the corridor. I aimed my flashlight down there, and the beam landed on another door. And under the crack at the bottom, a shadow. It wasn't moving. It was just waiting for me. The door creaked open all by itself. Inside, there was a single wooden chair, and someone was sitting in it, with their head hanging low. I managed to whisper, "Hello?" The head lifted up. And the face was all wrong. Just everything was slightly off. The eyes were way too wide, perfectly round like a doll's. The smile stretched impossibly far, almost to its ears. And the skin, it looked loose, like it didn't quite fit, like a mask worn over something else. It spoke, and its voice was this awful mix of every person I'd seen in the photos. It said, "You brought the door with you?" I didn't stick around to ask what that meant. I just ran, and the house fought me. I'm not kidding. Hallways twisted and became dead ends, doors would disappear and then show up somewhere else. Those whispers turned into a horrible symphony of screams. And behind me, I could hear the footsteps of that thing, never getting faster, never slowing down, just always there. Every room I burst into, I saw them. The people from the photos, the trapped souls, just crying in corners, banging on walls that only they could see. This wasn't a haunting, it was a collection. I finally made it back to the front door. A handle had appeared on it, but it was slick and dark with something that looked a lot like blood. I could hear the thing right behind me now, its layered voice whispering right in my ear, "You opened the door. Now it opens you." I didn't think twice. I ripped the door open and just ran into the night. I didn't stop until my lungs felt like they were on fire. And for a second, there was silence, relief. But that relief didn't last. If you find stories like this as gripping as I do, and you want to explore more dark corners of the unknown, make sure you subscribe. You won't want to miss where we go next. That was 3 weeks ago. I'm in a new city now, a new apartment. But the house, it followed me. Not the building itself, but the thing from inside it. Every single night, at exactly 3:17 a.m., I wake up. And then I hear it, a soft, polite little knock. It comes from my bedroom door. A door that I have checked 100 times, has no handle on the outside. It's just a flat wooden surface. But you want to know the worst part? That's not even the worst part. The worst part is what's happening to me. Sometimes when I catch my reflection, in a window or a mirror, I see it. Just for a split second, my reflection will smile. This big, wide, unnatural smile. Before I see, some doors, once you open them, they can never really be closed again. They don't lead to other rooms. They lead to things that wait in the dark. Things that learn what you look like and follow you home. So let me just ask you this. If you hear a quiet, polite knock tonight on a door that shouldn't be knocked on, do you think you could stop yourself from answering? If this story has you checking the locks on your doors, make sure you subscribe for more tales from those places that shouldn't exist. Let us know down in the comments what you would do if you heard that knock. And hey, if you have a friend who loves a good scare, share this with them. Until next time, listen carefully.